Matsalane Mamabolo, South Africa's most successful soccer writer.
You Pirates fans were looking for Rulani to come. You guys are unrealistic. Rulani Mokoena, Pirates.
3 times winner of Premiership Soccer Writer of the Year. Every day he takes you inside SA Soccer, exclusive to omniaudio.africa. Weekdays, 9:30 a.m.
Omni Sports, break it down. Africa's premier sports destination.
Goodness, Hugo Bruce is a tough taskmaster, isn't he? I mean, after Bafana beat Zambia 3-1 on Saturday, a lot of South Africans excited about how Bafana played. The silver-haired Belgian was not particularly pleased. I mean, his post-match comments about the match was the tempo was too slow, we were not too aggressive. Yet, this is a team that, won 3. They could easily have made it 3-0 actually, but it was an impressive showing, although the coach was not fully satisfied. But 3 goals, also Napoles scores the opening goal. And then second half, we had 2 more goals, 3-0. It looked like it was going to be 3-0. Sipho Mbule was the star. Julie won man of the match on a day when Tebogo Mokoena earned his 50th cap. So yeah, welcome to Inside SA Soccer. We are going to be reflecting on that match, as well as look at what a result, the DRC knocking Nigeria out of World Cup qualification. I'm with my producer Mduduzi Sibeko this morning just to reflect on Bafana. Mdu, typically, I know you will say Orlando Pirates once again came through for the national team. Master Chef was cooking on the day. I mean, that boy just keeps growing and growing. And I heard after the match, Coach Hugo Bruce spoke about him, and he was saying, Sipho Mbule is going to the World Cup. It's up to him to make sure he stays because he really rates him highly. Just keep the discipline and you are off to the World Cup.
Hey, Projects. Firstly, on behalf of the whole Orlando Pirates family, you are welcome.
Listen, there's okay, your goalkeeper Sipho Chain let in 1 when Ronwen Williams had kept a clean sheet. But in general, I was counting, there was about 5-6 Pirates players who played in that match.
Yeah, no, Projects. It speaks to the quality that we have in local football right now. I think we've reached a point as a country where we don't necessarily need all of these international players. You look at how Lyle Foster didn't contribute much. It was local-based players that played a big role in us securing that win. But also, Uyaya came in and he's back. He's back. He played well.
Yeah, no.
He's at a point now where he's much more comfortable and he's confident playing as that defensive midfielder for Bafana. It was also nice to see Talent Mbacha come on as a sub, although he didn't offer much because the game was already wrapped. That's a star player, the Projects, but he did his best. Yeah. But I'd have to agree with Hugo Bruce. I think we could have won by an even bigger margin. I just think Bafana played with a lot of chances. And I don't know where this thing of tossing and turning in the 18 area comes from nowadays, where instead of going for goal, players want to pass each other and do all of these fancy build-up. And that doesn't win us games. And I think also in defense, there's a lot to improve in defense because we were not supposed to concede a goal. That was a silly goal to concede, if you ask me. I think there's a lot of improvement in terms of like communication between the defense because when Nkosinathi Sibisi played with Mbegezeli Mbogazi, they played well. They were disciplined in that defense and they controlled everything. But the moment Mbogazi came off and then in came on Kulmani Ndamani, then I think there was a bit of miscommunication between him and Nkosinathi Sibisi, and they need to learn to play together because yes, all of them are going to go to the AFCON and the World Cup. But what happens if one is injured? Then the other 2 need to then learn how to play with each other. But overall, we're happy with the boys won, but we could have done better. This is a Zambian team that used to give us a tough time back in the day. So this is our time. This is where Bafana now needs to show Africa that we mean business. We could have easily beaten those guys 5-0.
4-5, yeah. Look, Coach Bruce did say at the post-match conference that Ndamani in particular looked a bit shaky on the day. He knows what he's capable of. and he was giving all these boys a chance to play. Mdamani, when he came in, as you say, there was some shakiness between him and Nkosinathi Sibisi, and you are not going to blame Sibisi because Sibisi was just solid there. They gave Matuludi got a chance because Khudiso Madau was just incredible, isn't it? The way he kept was it Sakala, the guy on the left, the Zambian junior, was it junior? Fashion Sakala. I mean, Khudiso just closed him down, and then Matuludi came on later on. He played, some flashes of brilliance there and there. I think he's raised his hand to say, Coach, I'm one you can look at to take to the Nations Cup. So the match was for exactly that, for the coach to look at the players who are on the fringes and say, let's see what you can give me, let's see what you cannot. But let's first speak of MasterChef. I mean, what a performance by Sipho Mpule.
Rajex, I think he silenced all of his critics, especially the Kaizer Chiefs supporters, because all of them were saying that Umnandi. I see they even created a Belendo special for him on social media where they say Umnandi Palo, because he hasn't scored any goals or he hasn't created any chances. But I remember the other day I was explaining to someone that not every player on the pitch needs to score. Not every player on the pitch needs to create goals, but you can be involved in the build-up that leads to a goal. Yes. And if you look at Sipho Mpule, most of the time, even for Orlando Pirates, he's always involved in the build-up of a goal. And he knows how to make his wings play. He knows how to make everyone play. He puts everyone in the game, and his technique, how he controls the ball, he hardly loses the ball. So yes, he's someone that's exciting to watch, but also the impact that he has on the game alone, because he knows how to intimidate his opponents. But what he did on Saturday against Zambia was just, that was just brilliant. It just shows what he's capable of. I think Themba Zwane's void has been filled. If Sipho Mpule carries on playing like that, we're not going to miss Themba Zwane, and he's the possible replacement.
But the funny thing is, you say that Coach Hugo Broos sees it very differently, because at the post-match, he says, I would love to have Themba Zwane. In his mind, I could tell he would love to have the two of them on the pitch together, because he was saying, if we have Sipho, if we have Themba, we are gone. We will be very hard to beat. And I think it can be done. You can have a Themba and a Sipho playing together. But talking of Sipho, I mean, that initial pass that he made to get Ozwe Napolis on the left there was just something else. The vision, I mean, properly weighted, it finds its men, and Ozwe Napolis never misses those kind of chances.
Hey, Projects, you can see that these two have a relationship together. You can see that they're actual teammates. And mind you, Sipho Mpule has been played out of position. His normal position, he actually plays as a number 8. So when they're playing him as a number 10, this is them playing him out of position. But just look at what he's doing, how he reads the game, just how he distributes the ball, how he took that ball, had two defenders, and then he pushed it, Gangana Shapatsamaya, and then fed Ozwe Napolis, and then Ozwe Napolis converted that one. So it's just, I think he's brilliant. And also when you're playing with a player like Ozwe Napolis, you do need someone creative like a Sipho Mpule who can read those runs, someone who knows how to feed him, and someone who can pass him, because Ozwe Napolis is a player that needs a lot of space because he likes running up and down. He needs a lot of space. So if you want to pass him the ball, you don't always need to give it to him directly on his foot. So sometimes play it and then allow him to take that run. So Sipho Mpule gave him enough time to take the run, delayed the pass. By the time he released it, he made sure that he was onside. And then obviously Ozwe Napolis, being as brilliant as he's known to be, he had to convert that run. But you also look at how first half Sipho Mpule almost scored himself. So he also knows how to be in the right position to face goal and try to go. It's just that unfortunately he has a very strong foot. You look at how sometimes he comes back to collect the ball. If now the number 8, whoever's playing number 8 is not passing him, he comes back to collect the ball. When he collects it, he turns. He hardly does back passes, which is why I like him. He's always going forward. He's that player.
No, you spoke about how he's almost always involved in all the goals. I mean, the one that was scored by Nkota, also his creation, he started the move. We have a star in Sipho Mpule, and as Coach Hugo Broos says, the key is let him just stay disciplined. Coach Hugo Broos said at the press conference that I've spoken to Sipho to say, stay where you are. You love playing football, play football, you will go places. And definitely the young man just needs to forget about all these other things off the field and focus. I mean, the other talking point from the weekend, Tebogo Mokoena playing his 50th match. Again, Coach Hugo Broos was just full of praise for Tebza. hard worker, committed guy who has been there throughout. I liked what Tebza said after the match that, you know, he thanked Coach Stuart Baxter, who was the first to give him his call-up, and spoke about Percy Tau, who, when he joined, he says Percy was there as one of the seniors and who said, your time will come, and eventually did come. 50 caps is not many players get to reach 50 caps.
Projects, it's well deserved. I think it's well deserved. Tebogo Mokoena is the best midfield we have in the country. He's the best center defensive midfield that we have in the country. Plays with a lot of confidence, and he's very, very, very courageous. I like the fact that he's willing to shoot from anywhere on the field. If the people playing up front are not willing to take it upon themselves to score the goals, he always raises his hand and he tries. How he scored important goals for us. Look at what he did at the previous AFCON where Bafana Bafana got the bronze medal. He was one of the key players there, and he was very important for us. And I think he might reach that 100th cap. Honestly, I think he might reach it. All he needs to do is just to remain consistency and keep making an impression on Hugo Broos. And he also has a special relationship with Hugo Broos, because I remember when Hugo Broos called him up and he wasn't getting much game time at Mamelodi Sundowns, but Hugo Broos still called him up, you know. And although he almost cost us the World Cup qualification, we forgive him. We almost didn't go to the World Cup because of him.
It was Mr. Treka's fault. It was not Tebza's fault, as most people have said, you know. So yeah, look, I mean, we played against Zambia last match before the AFCON. Coach Hugo Broos is going to have to pick up his squad. He had called Keleto Mahalwa and Masindi Nemtajela into the squad. The two boys did not get to play. Does this mean their chances of going to the Nations Cup are dead and buried, or he saw them during training, he knows what he wants out of them?
I think Makhawla stands a very high chance of going to the World Cup projects. I say this simply because you look at someone like Relebohile Mofokeng, who's just returned from injury, so we're not sure whether he's going or not. But Keleto Makhawla, currently in the Betway Premiership, has the most assists. Last season, this guy contended for Betway Premiership Footballer of the Year. He started the year on a high, and he continues to contribute for Sekhukhune. So if there's anyone that can replace Relebohile Mofokeng, it's definitely Keleto Makhawla. Should Mofokeng maybe himself raise his hand and then plays better, and Hugo Broos says he takes him, I think also there still has to be a place for Keleto Makhawla, although he might not play him, but you just need him there just for the sake of depth, because anything can happen to our key players, and also Napolis can be injured. Keleto Makhawla can be a good replacement. Mhankota might not have his best game. Keleto Makhawla might be a replacement. Relem Mofokeng himself might not have a good game. You have Keleto Makhawla who can be a replacement. Remember, we're talking about a guy that was coached under Peter Mosimane, a guy that played for Mamelodi Sundowns when Mamelodi Sundowns was at their peak. So if anything, he knows how to compete also on a big stage, you know. So I think they just need to give him an opportunity. Where Masindi Nemtajela is concerned, I personally think this was just the experience. This was to say to him, look, you keep playing the way that you're playing for Orlando Pirates, this could be you full time. Right, so go with the guys, get that experience. Let's build your confidence, because yes, Hugo Broos is going to have to dismantle this squad early next year when he builds for the World Cup. Whatever squad he takes to the AFCON won't be the squad to go to the World Cup. So Bomasindi Nemtajela can then raise their hands for the World Cup to say, Coach, remember, I've been there, I've sat on the bench, I know the guys I've trained under you, I now have a relationship with you. So I think with Masindi Nemtajela, it was more of an experience thing. But because Hugo Broos is Hugo Broos and is full of surprises, you never know, projects.
You never know what will happen. Yeah, no, that's true. But look, I mean, I think it was a beautiful weekend. We beat Zambia. We should have smashed them, but 3-1 is not that bad of a result. South Africa, we remain confident that we are going to be very competitive at the Africa Cup of Nations. Now, let's switch to the under-17s. They lost to Japan 3-0 in the last 32. My view is, these kids won. They probably would not have qualified was the tournament not as enlarged as it is to 48 countries. For them to get into the knockout stages just at the first attempt, for me, is a big deal. They've achieved very well. We should be proud of what they did. They are youngsters who have gained huge experience. Next year, they are going to the Africa Cup of Nations. I mean, Coach Vela Khumalo spoke at length about just the experience that they've gained, that he believes will stand them in good stead when they go to the next AFCON, which will also be a qualifier, because remember now, the Junior World Cups are played every 2 years. So next year they play for qualifier for the year after. Just your overall impression of the under-17s at the World Cup?
Projects, for the fact that they made it that far, for me, that's an achievement. They just achieved what even our senior team has never achieved. Bafana have never been to the knockout stages of a World Cup, but they managed to make it that far. I honestly wasn't expecting them to go past that, because I know once you're in the knockout stages, then it becomes more competitive and you're playing against a lot of tough countries, which then now speaks to the development. This means that we need to go back and re-look at the development structure in our country, because we can't keep reaching the last 16 and then being knocked out. And like I said, I wasn't expecting them to go beyond the last 16. I think what needs to happen now is we need to reinvest in development projects and focus on these young boys. These guys need to, all of that group must now be promoted to the under-20s. They must be the next under-20s, and then the next under-23, and then the next Bafana. Because they would have played together for so many years. They would understand each other. They would know how to compete against big teams, and they'd know how to be thrown in the deep end and then swim, because they were thrown in the deep end. Yes, they were not meant to go to the World Cup. They were thrown into the deep end, but look at how they swam, projects, and they made it as far as the knockout stages. If anything, for me, that's an achievement. That's a gold medal. If you ask South Africans, we say, look, this is more than enough. Even with Bafana next year, all we expect is for them to win a game. We don't expect them to win the World Cup. We don't expect them to even make it to the last 16. If they make it, yes, we'll be proud, we'll be happy. But as long as they win a game, but like I said, it speaks to the development in our country. Clearly, there's something that these European countries are doing better than us as Africans. We need to then maybe send out our youth development coaches to go learn a thing or two from those guys, come back, implement it, and see how we can emulate what they do that side, because there's definitely something that they're doing better than us.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, before we're going to switch to speaking World Cup, you touched on issues of the World Cup. And as I said, Nigeria are not going to the World Cup. We're going to be talking to our African football expert, Comrade David Legg, about it. The under, what do you call this? The CAF Awards coming up. I saw there's been a few announcements of finalists, and Ronwen Williams, your favorite goalkeeper, is again in the final 3 of the awards. Mamelodi Sundowns are also part of the teams of the year, along with RS Berkane and Pyramids. And that youngster Tyrone, what's his name? Tylon Smith of the under-20s, who moved to England, also is part of the young player of the year nominees. So that's good news for South African football, isn't it? That quite a few of our players and our clubs are still nominated as being among the best on the continent.
Definitely, projects. And then Mbegazeli Mbogazi, he didn't make it to the final list.
He didn't make the final cut. But look, I think as we spoke on this show previous times, that the fact that he did not go to the under-20 World Cup and the under-20 Africa Cup of Nations, I think that counted against him, because these youngsters were seen at a competition of their level, and he played well here at home. He did some good matches for Bafana, but I think, the fact that he was not at the World Cup. Tylon was at the World Cup. Tylon was the best player in Africa, remember, for the Africa Cup of Nations under-20. So I think he's worthy of being in that position. So Ronwen Williams makes it, but I don't know if he will win against 2 good goalkeepers of Morocco, the young goalkeeper as well as the senior goalkeeper. So it's going to be a tight competition. Even Mamelodi Sundowns, as much as they are nominated for the Club of the Year, I think Pyramids or RS Berkane will probably win that, both of them having been continental champions in the CAF Confederation as well as the Champions League. So let's see. The awards are going to be later this year.